Well, hello, hello. Can anybody hear me? Okay, give me a second. I'm gonna have to probably get my headphones in for this because my phone's not agreeing with me. So bear with me 2 seconds. My phone's being a pain. Okay, can you guys hear me better? With what just came out today, I'm trying to get to where I can get to the comments real quick. But what the defense just dropped today, what I have been saying, there has been multiple people at that bridge at the crime scene. And you've got individuals like Renee Anthony Greeno bragging on social media that law enforcement has his cell phone. Why? Because it showed up that he was there and people he was talking to were there at the crime scene that day, among others. If the defense is able to get those names to what the numbers belong to, don't you guys think it's just a little, well, a lot off that you knew from day one, geofencing, that in a certain set location, any data, any cell phone, GPS, anything like that, that would have went through this geofencing would have sent off a red flag, and that's where they were looking around, exactly around about 100 yards or so around the crime scene. Any cell phone data, any uh, cell phones, whatever it may be, was entering or leaving the crime scene location. That's where they geofenced. And lo and behold, we've got them admitting to not just one or two, but multiple. The exact time frame when they think the girls were killed, there was multiple people within that geofencing location. Then, if I read it right, they're showing Richard Allen leaving around 150. Shows him leaving the bridge area. But not one person was ever interviewed that was at that crime scene. Look back what I've been saying. How many of these individuals within in and around this drug ring, look at who some of these families are. Upper law enforcement, upper sheriff's department, elected officials. It wouldn't have looked good from day one if they brought up, oh yeah, a lot of these individuals show back to a certain criminal network that we already know about. And I guarantee you, a lot of these individuals are in the drug task force, the numbers, the identities, because they just did not just get the numbers without finding out who those numbers went back to. So you had multiple people that they tracked their numbers being at the crime scene at the exact time, but nothing to see here. We're not going to act. We're not going to pull these people in. We're not going to interview them. Why? Like I feel from the very get go, from day one, I get Gabriel's underage girlfriend, her sister, either it was her cousin or sister, Crystal Daly. I asked when Gabriel Ellis and the ones with him in the drug ring went up and did Delphi, did what they did Sierra Daly go with him? The response, I don't think she was. And like I renovated and I asked him, I was like, do you realize what you just said? And they end up blocking me right after that. I was like, and I made sure to put what I felt. I was like, So she didn't go with him. She knows who all went with him, who all took part, and she stayed silent on two little girls' murders. And it's not the first time because her cousin, Karina McClurkin, she's the cousin on the mom's side. The mom's side of Karina McClurkin already knew Karina was dead 48 hours missing and was letting other family members, boyfriends, and such know that, oh, I can't believe she's dead. I cried when I heard, is what one boyfriend said on a social media forum in comments. That his girlfriend, Paige Daly, was making a big fit. I'm not going to tell you on social media. Like she was freaking out. And then when she told him off social media what she did not want to say on social media, he made the mistake to come in and was like, I can't believe she's dead. I cried when I heard. Hmm. But hands down, this drug ring, like I said, there's about 30 cases, Carroll and Howard County. And if people will take the time and raids 2018, 2020, 2022, other drug raids, Carroll County, Howard County, and the surrounding areas. There's a couple murders. There's Javon Blackwell and his two sons being murdered up in Marion. I've only got a couple, like Marion and Lafayette, David Kallenberger, and a couple other cases that I'm going to go outside of the Howard and Carroll County in that general location. Between those two, Logan Support fires. The two that came out of that alive, the son and mother, go back best friends with Gabe Ellis and many in this ring. Daniel Height, that was found dead when they went to notify the dad that his kids were killed in a fire. Daniel Height, the ties I couldn't see on Brandy, the mom, but I seen on the two that survived, and then Daniel Height, I'll go back in and around this drug ring. Some of the same individuals, the criminal network analysis that I've been trying to show you guys. If you look at this criminal network, it's not like 5,000 names. It's possibly about 300 names, and it's entirely. It's a lot to take in. It's taken me years to kind of figure out what I found out. The ones in and around this drug ring, their roles. I've got up to even the kingpin cartel members right there in that area. Look on my community page. Officer Ferguson. I won't say how I got that, but you got an Officer Ferguson, which is an SRO, with school resource officer, had to serve a deputy a no trespassing order for asking for nudes from a female employee at the school. Liggett, the same Liggett that decided as a deputy, if you look above, he didn't threaten me. Yeah, right. I professionally asked Anna Williams about this drug ring that was showing up tied and connected, and now proven three people sitting involved with this drug ring are sitting behind bars for murder. Two of them admitted that yes, they killed Nicole Bowen. Why? Because she was about to snitch on not only them, but that ring as a whole. They could not afford that. Why? You got Carinas, you got Delphi, Forest Fires. Anywhere in every case this ring was involved in and showing around in, missing, killed, murdered, if she would have rolled and she knew information on that and was let it be out, it would not be beneficial for this ring, and many people would go down for multiple murders. A lot of you have been kind of wondering why I've been going after so many people. I want to slow things down with you for a little bit. The Manson group. Gabrielis, his cartel drug ring, and his affiliates that he hung out with, did other cases with. I want you to picture Gabrielis with a swastika on his forehead. He was a Saxonite white supremacist. Whenever he goes to prison, that is the group he goes in and he hangs out with, the Saxon Knights. Saxon Knights. That is the white power, white supremacist gang that he hangs out with and affiliates and hangs around with whenever he goes to prison. And he still has those affiliations. So, Karina, the 404, having the hatred to do something to somebody that's black, can easily see him doing. You got Blaine Nelson telling you how violent Gabriel Ellis is and how quickly, at a drop of a pin, he can go from sane to violent. And that live I did with Blaine Nelson. Showing up and he had an AR-15 in his hand, ready to go to war. Like I said, another one of his buddies that was tagging him, Kyle Stacy. I was just in a group chit chat on Facebook and I was like, look, go back to Kyle Stacy, February 11th, 2017. What room? Who was he tagging in it? And before that, they were talking like they were going to war. It's all fun and games till the wolves are get let loose. It's almost like they were gearing up, psyching themselves up for an AK battle coming up. Then February 15th, you got Kyle Stacy freaking out, and the girlfriend at the time, she came and saved me. And if you look in the comments, him punching a wall in the hole in the wall. He was talking about how upset, how ticked off. He wasn't explaining it in the comments on why he did it. But yeah, I did that. I was pissed off. I was upset and punched a hole in the wall. But wouldn't it be nuts if the defense would force an investigation on each and every single one of those numbers, the identities that were showing up at the crime scene, and they release the identities of this, and this person? And it's more than one person I've talked about being involved, having a role in there, not just there, but other cases. How insane would that be? To me, not really. So I got a couple cats in heat, so the man you were hearing had to throw something at him. So if you heard a bang in the background, I threw a cup at him. Didn't hit him, just to scare him off. But okay, backtrack. Like I said, what the defense just put out, the data showing multiple people being at the crime scene, coming and leaving. They know the exact time frame. They geofenced the location where the crime scene happened. You've got multiple individuals going in and out of there, and then they themselves admit they've never seen Richard's data going anywhere near that crime scene. Then what time they even said in their own investigation, when they come to find out, yes, that was his data, his cell phone was leaving. Really makes one wonder. Why are they protecting and did not interview any of those individuals? Then if you look on the 2018 video I did, interview within Kokomo Police Department with Detective Benzinger and detective from Miami County, Indiana State Police, Charles Chuck Myers. If you look up on his LinkedIn, he was in charge of the criminal task force when it comes to crimes against children online. 2018. They're talking about how even Delphi, the exploitation part, they had that sitting on their desk via Keegan's cell phone records and the investigation going on. Miami County. Miami County. Myers and a few others would have that information already right there in their hand. Did nothing with it. They sat on it. Murder Sheets made a big deal out of it. Oh, yeah. Forced them to talk. I've got a detective right there. Two of them. I bring up a suspect name that has multiple ties and connections with not only him, his drug ring, him supplying and being a major role with that drug ring within Delphi and Carroll County, having an arrest record right down the way, like down the road of Prince William Road, 100 South. That's within 3 miles of the bridge. A sexual child predator with a violent history. And before then, after Karina's, he had 5 bodies sitting at his feet. 5 deaths. 4 overdoses. 3 females, 1 male. You had Karina's. And they had involvement with Flora. And if you look up every single one of those names within Galen Rose's lawsuit, Colton Creasy, look up his criminal history. Jennifer Barnes, her husband. Each and every single one of those names in the lawsuit have dealing, manufacturing meth charges. They all belong to the same drug ring. I've got some locals actually spilling the beans. Yes, they were using that house as a trap house, selling and moving drugs. Jennifer Barnes, the same Jennifer Barnes, friends with Terry German, Brad German, Derek German, among others. Jennifer Dean / Barnes. She's got multiple profiles. Is friends back with yet another victim's family? This is not the first time I've seen this. I've seen multiple cases where I've seen the family, the friends, the ones dealing, the ones involved with it, showing up to a criminal network analysis, which is easy if you know who to look for, what to look for. And like I said, it's taken me years, since 2016, after Karina's case, to hit and figure out what I pieced together on this person goes back to this dealer, this dealer. There's almost like 2 different factions. You got the street cartel, their dealers, their associates. Then you got individuals like Gabe Ellis. He was one of those straight with the cartel, doing everything they asked, doing it by the book, what they wanted. But when he was starting to make enough money and getting enough meth, getting pushed and out, and enough power, he was wanting to go against the other side and take pretty much other control of the other side and become a bigger individual than what he was already sitting at. He was starting to get enough murders, showing he wasn't afraid to act. If you cross him and his, he will act. And I've actually heard from the inside where his child exploitation, child porn, all those charges were dropped if he would stop going after the motorcycle clubs like Sin City, Milwaukee Iron, Mobile. The motorcycle clubs play a crucial role. I heard from one individual at Sin City himself, sitting at his sister's table, explaining to her, this is how I got my patches back. His cut, his vest with the patch with Sin City on the back, he had to take a few grand down to Indianapolis with his motorcycle, fill up his motorcycle saddlebags, with meth and other drugs to the brim, bring him back to the clubhouse, and he finally got his cut back. He had to prove himself to get back in, do a 1%, do an illegal act big enough to prove yourself to get back in. I heard this individual himself talk to his sister. This is how much money I went down there with. This is how much product I had to bring back to Sin City. Sin City and the motorcycle clubs is a good format when it comes to this drug ring. Why? When they need places to stash a large amount of drugs. These motorcycle clubs, be it winter, they can have their saddlebags full of drugs, and at any moment, anything happens, they can get on those bikes and run off. Those saddlebags can be full of drugs, and most of the time, if you know anything about like Indiana, when it comes to motorcycles, if they go 100, 200, not 200, but 100, 120 mile an hour down the road, when it comes to motorcycles, they tend to deem it too much of a risk, not only to the officers patrolling and actually going after them, but a serious risk to the driver and others around them when it comes to motorcycles. So 9 times out of 10, when it comes to police chases, when it comes to motorcycles, they back off. They know this. So all they have to do is get those saddlebags, backpacks, or whatever it may be, on and run off with them. Nobody's going to come after them if they start booking it. But wouldn't it be crazy if what I've been saying at this drug ring, the ones in and around, would come to find out they're the ones that saying I have been talking out my rear, and like Anna Williams made sure if you look above, no one believes you. There's a comment under that, a message from her, and it's going to stay that way. We're going to make sure no one believes you.